Hi my angels and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a prom makeup look. Not only is this a glamorous prom makeup look, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks of how to make your makeup last longer and look amazing in photography. And also this look is using all drugstore or affordable products. I was initially going to do a gold and navy or silver and navy, but I decided to go with a pop of color seeing as it is spring coming up. So if you would like to see how to get this glam full face affordable makeup look, then please keep watching. So I'm first starting off with this Freedom Makeup Pro Studio Priming Water, which is essentially the same thing as the Smashbox one. Then moving straight onto eyes, I'm using the Colour Tattoo in the Creme de Nude shade to put all over my eyelids. And you want to make sure that this is a nice, thin, even layer because this is going to help the eyeshadow colours to pop and last all night, which is definitely what we want for prom. As an eyebrow highlight, I'm taking the Sleek Solstice highlight palette and I'm taking these three shades and I'm applying that to my brow bone. These are very pigmented using your fingers, but not as much with a brush, so you want to just kind of build the colour up until you're happy with it. Next up, I'm taking the BARRYM Chisel Cheek Contour Kit. I believe they do a darker one now as well, but I'm just using the original one and the middle shade first. And I'm applying that into the crease of our eyes. Now, these powders are so pigmented, you want to go in with the lightest hand possible and then build up the colour. I actually find that going less in with any kind of product is much better because it's easier to kind of manage. Then taking the darkest shade from that same contour palette, I'm working that into the crease. So I'm trying to concentrate this colour really in the crease of my socket rather than blending it out anywhere and like diffusing it out into, I don't know, into the top part of my eyelid. So I'm trying to keep it quite intense there. Now, it took me ages to find a navy blue eyeshadow in the drugstore, but this one I found, it's from 17, it's from Boots, and it's in the shade Regal. And what I'm doing is I'm packing this colour onto my eyelid. So I'm really pressing it in because this is going to help the pigmentation be really intense rather than wishy-washy, because I wanted it to be a really intense navy blue. And I found that 17 and Revlon were the only two places that did like really good single eyeshadows, which was quite surprising. Now I'm taking a fluffy brush with a little bit of that same Regal eyeshadow just to blend out any harsh edges, because we want to make sure that we're blending and eyeshadowing like at the same time, because it's just going to make things a lot easier. Here I'm just intensifying that colour a little bit more and just blending away until I'm happy with the way it was looking. I initially wanted to do a gold and navy or silver and navy, but this next Kiko eyeshadow stick in the shade 31 has been eyeing me up since I've got my hands on it. So I'm applying this onto the inner kind of thirds of my eyelids and making sure that that's kind of diffused into that navy colour because I didn't want it to be like really blocky. Now taking Periwinkle from Revlon, I am packing that colour on top. So again, really pushing that colour into the Kiko eyeshadow stick. This is going to intensify the colour, but this is also going to make it last for so long because the Kiko eyeshadow sticks are insanely good because they're so long lasting, and I think they're one of like the really like underrated products out there. Now taking the BARRYM Chisel Contour Kit, again I'm taking the two colours, the darkest shades, and blending that into the crease to make sure everything is nice and blended and that there's a nice transition from the colour to the like brow bone. So just spend your time working on blending everything out. And as always, if you feel like you need to intensify any areas, then you can go ahead and do that. So I'm just intensifying the eye look with a little bit more of that Regal shade, just to make sure it's nice and deep and dark. And then again, with the other Periwinkle shade to make sure that that's nice and bright as well. I then moved on to my brows, and you guys, I'm not even going to be kidding you. This Freedom pomade for your eyebrows in my particular one is the shade Ash Brown, is pretty much exactly the same as the Anastasia one. It applies almost identical, so this is definitely going to make your eyebrows last all night long as well. But we do need to make sure that they're set in place, so I'm using the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper just to make sure all of those eyebrow hairs are not going to budge, and they're going to be tamed all night long. Now I'm just wiping away kind of the excess eyeshadow and creating kind of a crisp line underneath my eyes and just tidying everything up and clearing up any kind of fallout. For primer, I use the NIVEA Post Shave Balm, and I'm putting this all over my face. This is an incredible primer. It's very, very good. I'm kind of massaging that into my skin until it comes a little bit tacky, but then to add that double layer of primer so that my makeup like sits and sticks all night, I'm using the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot in the areas kind of like where makeup tends to like slide around, so that's technically like the center part of my face. For foundation, I used a mixture of the Fit Me and Infallible matte. You can definitely use any foundation that you feel comfortable wearing. The best tip I could give you is to blend with a beauty blender. I know that's not like drugstore, but it does wonders for your skin, and also try and avoid using any foundation with SPF in it, because that's going to make your pictures look amazing and your skin look amazing as well. Now, to make sure everything's locked in place, I'm using this Maybelline setting spray, and I'm first giving it a good shake, spraying it on my beauty blender, and then kind of pressing that into my foundation. And this is just going to give that extra added layer of kind of protection and like grip, so that your base stays put all night long and it's not going to be like messing around if you're dancing and having a good time at prom. Then for concealer, I'm using the Maybelline Age Eye Rewind Concealer Majiggy in the shade Light. I'm putting it in the usual areas of my face. You can go a little bit heavy with this, especially for special occasions, because once everything's blended out and you've done your contour and highlight, everything is going to look so beautiful on the skin. So here I'm just blending everything out and making sure that the beauty blender is kind of taking up any excess product. And I totally forgot to moisturize my lips, so I'm just putting some lip balm on them. And then I'm taking my Kick-Ass Soap & Glory powder, and I'm setting all the areas where we applied that Maybelline concealer. And this, again, it has some like weird blurring technology in it, and it makes your skin look so like airbrushed in pictures. Next up, we're going to move on to contour. I'm using the Body Shop Shade Adjusting Drops in Dark. If you find that too dark, you can actually mix in the light shade into it. And I'm creating a cream contour. So I'm putting a little bit on the back of my hand and then applying that with a duo fiber brush to the areas which I want to contour my face. Cream contour for me is definitely key, especially when it's like a special occasion, because it's gonna last so much longer. And can you just guys see how natural and beautiful this product is? It blends so easily. I'm a massive fan of this. I've used this in quite a lot of other tutorials as well, but this is probably my favorite drugstore cream contour product. It's brilliant. Once I've contoured the usual areas that I like to contour, I'm just going over them with the beauty blender to make sure everything is really seamlessly blended into the skin. Then taking the BARRYM Chisel Contour Kit again, I'm just taking a mixture of the two darker shades and setting the areas that we contoured in place. This is again going to give it that extra kind of staying power that's going to last you all night. This isn't necessary, but I just really like doing this, and I thought I'd kind of go full glam because it is like a prom makeup look. Then I'm going over the same areas again with that damp beauty blender and just making sure everything is nice and blended and that there are no weird harsh lines going on. Then it was time to add some highlight. I'm using that same sleek Solstice highlight palette. Again, all three of the same powder products in there, and it's very, very important to kind of layer this on, because again, I was like so impressed by this when I swatched it, but when actually putting it on my skin, it wasn't as highlighted as I wanted it to be. So feel free to swap it with your favorite highlighter. Then I'm taking this Max Factor blush in the shade Lovely Pink, which is a really gorgeous like glowy pink color. So it's just going to make your cheeks and skin and face just look really nice and healthy. So just putting that onto the apples of my cheeks. And for powder, I am powdering my face. I'm using the Bourjois Healthy Balance Powder. I rarely powder my face, but only on special occasions when I need my makeup to last longer. I'm literally just tapping the brush into the product and kind of swooshing it on my face because I don't want it to look too heavy. Next up, we are moving on to one of my favorite parts of this look. I'm taking that same Kiko eyeshadow stick and I'm applying that to my inner waterline. And this is going to add the most beautiful total insane pop of color to the like eyes. It's so incredible. I was gonna like mix this up with gold or silver, but I just love this color, so I'm doing that instead, and then going over that area with the Periwinkle eyeshadow just on the lash line. So not really going away and like diffusing it out really crazily, but just kind of intensifying that color there. And I was going to leave it like this, but then I realized it's just looking a bit too bright under there. So then I took that Regal shade from 17 and I applied that just to the outer corners so that there's nice like kind of a ombre effect from like a little bit of darkness to that bright periwinkle shade. Moving on to lashes, I'm using the L'Oreal Paris False Lash Sculpt Mascara. You can totally use a waterproof mascara. To be quite honest, I'm waiting for L'Oreal to bring out a waterproof version of this because this is like hands down my favorite mascara ever. And that takes a lot me saying this because last year it used to be the Lash Sensational Mascara, but this has definitely blown it out of the water. So I'm adding about just over one layer of that onto my top lashes and then also coating my lower lashes as well. Moving on to lips, I'm using East End Snob Lip Liner by Rimmel. I'm not only lining my lips, but I'm also filling them in. Again, this is going to help your lipstick last a lot longer. So definitely do like not only line them but fill them in as well. For lipstick, I actually went in with this one, which is Coffee Craze by Maybelline, and this, you guys, is probably one of my favorite cool toned like nudie brown shades in the drugstore arena. So I really enjoyed that. Then I realized I definitely wanted to put some eyeliner on. I totally forgot. I kind of felt like I wasn't going to do it, and then I was like, something is definitely missing in this look. So I'm taking the thin skinny felt eyeliner from the Body Shop, and I'm just going ahead and aligning my eyes and creating a little wing as well. Whenever I have my eyeshadow and everything done and I forget to put my eyeliner on, I always do the wing first and then the line. But I will leave a link to my eyeliner tutorial, which is really in depth, in the info box below. And then the last step was to add some lashes. Here I'm using the Eyelure 141 lashes, and that, you guys, is the look complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup look. I'm really sorry I didn't get to do the navy and gold or navy and silver look because, this Kiko eyeshadow, it was calling my name. So I'm really sorry about that, but you can always swap that shade for like a gold or a silver. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video as a whole. I love doing these extra glam bam in your face makeup looks, so please do leave me some suggestions of any color combinations you guys would like to see next, and I'm gonna leave it as that before this outro gets way too long, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.